Your first question tonight comes from Anthony DeComo.
Hey, Francisco. I wanted to ask you first about that final play. How difficult is that adjustment to kind of make when the ball's deflecting, not where you think it's going to go?
It could get difficult, but if you anticipate things happening, you just go with the flow at that moment. We just react. We don't even think about it. I actually thought I was trying to bird hand the baseball because I thought it was going to be softer. Once it took that first hop after Diaz's gloves, I knew it was hit a little bit harder, so it was just a matter of backhanding it. And yeah, you don't react at that point. That's why we practice every single day for things like that.
You said on the road trip that you're starting to heat up, and hopefully when you get home, you wouldn't be hearing those boos here. Obviously, you've gotten a lot of cheers so far at the homestand. What has that been like to have the fans embrace you?
Man, Anthony, it feels great, man. It's a little bit of a relief, The first couple of games when I got booed, it felt like I was playing on the road. Now it feels like I'm at home. And I want to thank the crowd for showing up and supporting the whole team. We win with them. We don't win without them. So they're a big part of our success every single time because they definitely put a lot of pressure on other teams.
Thank you.
Next question comes from Dave Lennon.
Hey, Francisco, as an infielder and all you guys as infielders, how much fun is it playing behind Stroman with his ability to generate ground balls like that?
Man, Stro, it's an unbelievable pitcher. He keeps us on our toes, and hats off to Guillorme today. Outstanding job coming back from the DL. Wow, he put up a show today for the fans and for Stroman. He's always been behind him whenever he pitches. He's one of the best ones.
I mean, and when you see from your vantage point too, Francisco, to see him kind of keep a team like the Padres, a good hitting team like the Padres, off balance like he does, how hard is that to do?
Extremely hard. That's the second time he does it this year, and in such a short period of time. They're great. They're good hitters out there, and they make adjustment quick. And to be able to throw 6+ each time against them, it says a lot about him. So hats off to him and McCann as well, and that call a good game.
Thanks, Francisco.
Next question is from Justin Toscano.
Hey, Francisco, you guys have been in first place in the division for a long time now. I'm wondering if that's something you guys even notice or think about.
Not really, man. Not really. We just play the game day in and day out as hard as we can to get the W that day. Yeah, you hear people talking about it, but it's not us here in the clubhouse. We focus on our task on a daily basis, and that's winning. And whenever we don't come up with the W, come back the next day and try to get the win at the end of the day. So it's such a long season. I think we still got 100+ games. It's a lot of baseballs left. As long as we continue to get healthy and stay healthy, we'll be in a good spot.
And then now that you've spent some more time around Luis Rojas, especially kind of when you guys have gone through some adversity, what do you think his best asset is or quality as a manager?
Even keel. He stays the same the whole entire time. He doesn't get too amped up. He doesn't get too low. He's staying in the same line the whole entire time. And as a player, you want to look in the dugout and you want to see your coaching staff stay in the same line. You don't want to see them bouncing up and down because that creates instability. And it's the same thing with as a parent. When your kid looks at you and you all scared, you all fluster, they get the same way. So yeah, you look in the dugout and you see Rojas staying even keel. It's fun. It's fun to play for him.
Francisco, your last question comes from Matthew Robertson.
Hi, Francisco. Matthew Robertson with the New York Daily News. I want to talk a little bit about your approach against Musgrove today. You had some good at-bats against him, especially in that first at-bat when you hit the home run. Looked like you might have been hunting fastball. Was that what you were looking for specifically?
I was just looking for a good pitch to hit, my brother. Uh, I know he's having a great season. I got both the home runs I have of him have been mistakes, and that's what we live up. We live up pitcher mistakes. You know, if out of 10 at bats I get 3 mistakes, I'll be successful. So I was just looking for something there that I could drive, and I did. I put a good swing to the baseball, and it went out.
Francisco, thank you very much for your time.
Yep.
Am I gonna be able to see myself on the screen?
Marcus, thank you for joining us tonight. Members of the media, if you'd like to ask a question, please use the raise your hand feature. Your first question tonight will come from Steve Gelbs.
Well, Marcus, I got to start with the belt. Is that a new tradition that you guys have started in the clubhouse?
Yeah, man. This is just we have a little vibe going in on days we win in there. Just trying to celebrate all victories, all blessings. So I was lucky enough to win pitcher of the game today, and this is what we get to rock for the day. And I'll be handing it out tomorrow.
Has that been all season, or did you guys start that recently?
Yeah, we've been doing this all season. This is just a little additive that we threw in there now, just to kind of, like I said, we always do pitcher and hitter of the game, and we always have a nice little discussion after the game. So it's just something to add to it, add to a little post-game win.
You know, Marcus, when you face a lineup 2 games in a row like you did today, especially a lineup as potent as the Padres, what is that challenge as a pitcher? And do you approach this game any differently, just, you know, seeing as you saw these guys a week ago?
Yeah, that lineup is incredible, man. Honestly, you have to be locked in from pitch one. Truly, you can't fall into any trends. You really can't be in the heart of the plate with that lineup. You really have to live on the edges as far as myself, and you really have to have a good mix. So I felt like my mix with McCann last outing was pretty good. So we kind of went into it with the same mentality, and then as the game progressed, we kind of changed things here and there. But for the most part, my mentality is always to go out there and compete.
Thanks.
Next question will come from Dave Lennon.
So Marcus, along those same lines, do you just have to kind of switch up your sequences to all these guys, make pitch differently than you did last time, or you just kind of do the same plan of attack and adjust on the fly a bit?
Yeah, it's definitely adjusting on the fly because they definitely will change their game plan as well. So like I said, I feel like if I execute my pitch, I feel like pitchers always have the advantage over a batter. So it's more of a matter of being locked in every pitch. You really can't get lackadaisical. You can't give up on any pitch. You really have to execute and be aggressive from pitch one because, like I said, that's a team that will take advantage of you if you're leaving too many pitches in the heart of the plate.
And how much, since the team has kind of been, beat up injury-wise and stuff, Marcus, have you kind of felt the need to be one of the guys to step up and have the kind of season you're having?
Yeah, I've always had, honestly, the same mentality, whether, to be honest, doesn't matter really who's here, who's not. I've had the same mentality every fifth start, always, is to go deep into the games, give my team a chance to win, and to be competitive. Like, I truly just go out there and compete with the Bulldog mentality. And at the end of the day, I hope that when I look up at the scoreboard, we're in a position to win.
Tony, you're up.
Hey, Marcus, you guys lead the league in rotation ERA. You have 3 guys who are in the top 15 in the majors in ERA for personally. What can you say, I guess, just about this group in general in terms of how well you guys have done rotation-wise to set the pace for the team?
Did y'all expect that?
I think some people did, some people didn't.
Yeah. No, we knew what we were capable of, to be honest, from the very start. So it's just a matter of going out there. I think between staff, between players, we have a great combination of guys. There's so much flow of information happening. We're sharing ideas. We're sharing how each other pitches and prepares. So there's so much information being shared between one another. I just feel like it creates a winning atmosphere. So as far as routine, as far as staff, I feel like we've had a great a great staff from the very beginning, a great team. Obviously, we have a bunch of guys on the DL. So to see us pick up this type of momentum when we have this many guys on the DL, it's pretty special, to be honest with you. And we're looking forward to getting all these guys back and really taking off in the second half.
How much do you guys in the rotation just kind of feed off that? Obviously, what Jake's done, what Taiwan's done, what you've done. How much do you guys kind of feed off each other?
Man, we feed off the GOAT, man, for sure. He's definitely. I mean, I can't speak any more highly of that man. He's truly the best of our generation. I think he'll be the best to ever do it once it's all said and done. So Jake's the man. He's the most humble dude away from the field too. And me and him are always talking mechanics, body. We're always sharing ideas, pitch sequencing. So I'm just trying to learn as much as I can from him. And same thing with Ty, same thing with Petey, Lucchese, Carrasco. Noah's at the park today. I mean, I love this team, man. We have a great flow and great camaraderie and a great vibe going on.
Next question comes from Matthew Robertson.
What's up, Marcus? Matthew Robertson, New York Daily News. After the first inning double play with Grisham, we saw a little bit of a celly from you. Did you know you were rolling at that point? Did you feel pretty good that early in the game?
No, not at all. But anytime a guy reaches first batter of the game, and then you're able to erase that with a double play, I think that's just a huge momentum shift right there. Not only for myself, I think it's for the team. And to get us right back in the dugout to get up. So I've always been someone who feeds off passion, and I'm not scared to show it in a big time moment. But yeah, that was a huge play. Guillorme was great out there today. Great to have that guy back out there. He was special.
And then a lot of splitters from you today. How's that pitch feeling now that you've had, 14 starts with it now?
It just depends, man. I honestly don't touch it in some starts. Some other starts I do. It's starting to feel more consistent, way better, to be honest. I'm starting to feel like I could throw it in any count to any batter. Like you said, it's a very new pitch for me, but it's got great success, and it's something that I'll look forward to continue throwing.
Your final question comes from Rich Catino.
Hey, Marcus, with the way the starting rotation is going, with 0 after 0 going on the board every inning, your bullpen, on a day today when you score first, how much pressure do you think that puts on your opponent?
I think a lot. I think getting on the board first, especially when if you have a guy out there on the mound who the team can get behind, I think it just puts a little bit more emphasis on the opposing team to get things going, which can create a little pressure. So our offense has been amazing lately, man, and I knew it would click at some point. It's a long season. I'm just thankful to be healthy in the rotation, performing and helping our guys do what we need to do. And like I said, we can't wait to get McNeil, Conforto, Carrasco. I mean, all the guys back. We're looking forward to it.
Marcus, thank you very much for your time. Luis, thank you for joining us this afternoon. Your first question comes from Steve Gelbs.
Hey, Luis, what'd you think of Stroman today?
Oh, it's nasty. Everything was moving the right way. He had good command of his stuff. I think him and McCann had a really good plan. They had a really good plan in San Diego, and they carried it on to today. And the stuff was just crisp. I mean, you got to look to the board just to see the velocity because you don't know which pitch it was. I mean, everything's just moving, and whether it's a cutter, the slider, the sinker, and then some curveballs that he threw today, surprisingly. So he added a little more in there, just trying to be ahead of the game, and everything just worked out well. I mean, he was consistent. I mean, he just got to a point where we had to get him out. I know Tatis got a pitch. He sat on it and he got it, and he did what he had to do. But overall, it's just consistent throughout.
Your bullpen has been so dominant this year. To add a reliever like Seth Lugo, who seems to have picked up right where he left off, I mean, what does that do for you as a manager, especially on a day like today where Castro is maybe still dealing with something and May is working through some things to be able to just insert him back in the 8th inning? What does that do for your ability to mix and match?
Yeah, you're right on, Steve. I mean, it just makes us deeper. I talk about Seth Lugo with the different things that he can do. He can go multiple innings. He can come in and be a setup guy. He can come in and close a game. He can do a lot of things for us in the bullpen. So having him back can definitely be a relief for a lot of guys that we've used a lot so far early in the season. So you mentioned Trevor May. Like, that's a guy that we like a lot, obviously. He's got really good stuff. So we can't wait to get him back in there. But having Seth back and looking for maybe a spot where to throw Trevor in there, where he's going to find his stuff, which has been searched, especially secondary stuff. It's helped us to work with him and to work with other guys as well. So right now we just have a deep bullpen. That's what Seth's done for us since he joined us. And I told him in the dog, I was like, I'm so excited that you're here. I mean, you're making us even deeper now. We can play around with some things, and especially having other days where you can call it short outings, because Stroh's taking us to the 7, Walker's taking us to the 7 a lot of times, and Jake has done it too. But in the other outings with Peterson and Joey, we haven't gone to the 7 as much. We did with Peterson one time, but we can have a fresh bullpen and play around. So Seth is one of those guys that can help us to have guys for the next day.
Thanks.
Next up is Tony DeComo.
Hi, Luis. You just touched on it a little bit, but given some of the injuries that you've had, particularly Carrasco and Syndergaard lingering, even to some of your depth guys, how important has it been for the entire team what those top 3 guys in your rotation have done for you?
Huge. There's another example of what happened tonight against that really good lineup. He was able to give us 6 1/3 until we handed the ball to the bullpen. So we used 3 guys to close it out, and we have a bunch of fresh arms tomorrow if anything happens early. I think it's just huge, especially with some of the doubleheaders that we have ahead. We keep throwing the ball like that. I mean, it's something that we can definitely battle through and be in a winning position. So those guys have been huge. I mean, those guys are they've been horses for us. So our bullpen's been in shape and it's been consistent, I think, and it's because of those 3 guys.
Also, what happened with McKinney today?
So he sore right knee. We didn't hit out on the field, so BP was a little later in the cages, and that's why the scratch was as late. He just didn't feel right, and we didn't want to take a risk. So he'll be day to day. We'll reassess with his status tomorrow. But that's why we scratched him. He had a sore right knee.
Thank you.
Next question is from Pat Ragazzo.
Hey, Luis. I was wondering with McKinney, you say it's day to day, but right now, does it seem like there's any level of concern there, or are you guys just kind of going to see what you know from here?
Well, not a high level of concern. I mean, we're approaching it day to day soreness. We did an MRI, and it came back clean. So that's why we leave it as soreness right now, and just for him to get the treatment there and feel better potentially tomorrow, and we can check if he can start or even be available off the bench. But so that's why the concern is not that high right now, just because we did the MRI test today before the game, or I should say during the game. We took him because we're so close to the game.
Back to you, Tony.
Oh, I think my hand just never lowered. I'm good. Thanks, Zach.
No problem. Ed, you're up.
Hey, Louis, I wondered what you thought of Guillorme today, first game back, the way he played.
Man, Perez has played really well for us, but like, having Guillorme back as well is just you can't forget about how good he is in the infield, whatever you put him. We played really well defensively, but seeing him on the field again and doing the things that he does, it's just you go back and say, okay, yeah, Louis got really good hands. Made a couple of plays, good feet under him, with those fresh legs, to get a couple of important force outs and also start a couple of double plays with Francisco. That's a really good combination up the middle. So our infielders just keep playing really well. Guillorme is so talented. So we become now even more, we become deeper now with our infield defense. We have guys that are not in the mix and can play at a really good rate at second base like Peraza, but Guillorme is an upgrade immediately.
Luis, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Zach. See you guys. Have a good one.